I believe as a writer that there is a series or even a set of characters that can change the direction of a writer's career or even life. This is my story. This is the Butterfly Lilli Project, and I welcome you on my journey. Hi, as you saw in the intro, this is the beginning of the Butterfly Lilli Project. I am writer J Falk. I write Christian romance novels. And as many of you know, if you read my regular typed blog, I am a daily blogger as well. I got asked by many of my readers wanting to know the story of how I got started with the Lilli Girl Project, or the Lilli Girl series, which isn't out right now. It's in the middle of being edited, but most people know that's the series that actually got me started. So I decided to create what we are calling the Lilli Butterfly Project, which is what you see before you. Welcome to my home. And I will be doing this on at least an every 2-week basis to tell you this story. It's too long to tell in one video blog. Lilli is a fictional character, like all my characters. But Lilli is someone that was created in my mind and heart by God, starting when, at a very young age, around 16, I liked to daydream as a teenager and a child, as most people do, but I lived in my head more than most people do, and my mother always said that my imagination would be something that was very important in my life. She knew that as a young kid, because I was always playing pretend and imagining, tea parties, just as any other young child and any other person who did not have a disability. But my imagination was also my best friend. I lived in it a lot, as I said, and Lilli was one of those characters that at first was my imaginary friend, which I didn't go to the extremes like some people did, where the imaginary friend had to sit at the dinner table. I think I maybe did it once or twice, but I wasn't one of those imaginary friend people. But she had different names throughout my childhood. And she had tea parties with me in my backyard fort that my mom created. And of course I don't have an imaginary friend any longer. If I did, that would be awfully scary. But this imaginary friend turned into a character, and therefore I put her on paper, and I started writing about her when I was 18, and her name changed several times during the course of the years, and in the past 3 years, I should say 4 now, 4 years, I finally landed on the name that fit her best, and that was Lilli Bennett. Lillian Bennett is unique in her own right, as you'll find out. She's a very strong-willed woman that is strong in her faith, so strong that she is willing to give the shirt off her back to help other people. And that's due to trials in her own life. And her family supports her so much that they will do anything to help her do what she feels she needs to do in life. And there's this one event in her life that she can't seem to get over. It's a horrific event, and then when the first book starts, she'll tell you a little bit in talking in her own mind at one night, what happened in that event and how horrible it was and how it changed her entire life. And this one event that she can't forget is going to come back to haunt her in the beginning of the first book. And as it comes back to haunt her, she finds that she's not all that confident in herself or her faith right away. Her faith doesn't waver as much as her own confidence and in who she is. And I think I wrote that section right after high school, and I have to admit that was partly me too. I wasn't all that confident in who I was at that time. I was confident in my faith, but not confident in who I was going to become. So a lot of that came from me, and I'm not saying that Lilli is me, because she's not. She's completely fictional, but there is some of me in this character. And as we go on, we learn things about Lilli that nobody really knew or nobody really understood, because she seemed so closed off and she wasn't really as confident and as bold as everybody thought. That was just kind of a facade at first. And then as all these things come to light, people begin to realize who she really is and what she really wants from her life. And everything she had been telling people wasn't a lie. It was just sort of telling people what she thought she wanted or thought they wanted to hear. And I went through a phase in my life where, I went to college and I tried to do things that people suggested to me for a career because I wasn't sure myself what I wanted. And then it turns out, 12 years later, I'm finding out that I'm more comfortable being a writer and being a business owner than anything else. So, ultimately, the first book of the Lilli Girl series is about forgiveness, and it's taught me a lot about my own life. Then, a few books later, which we will talk about later, you will end up finding out about the Butterfly series, which is in turn about Lilli Bennett's daughter, Vanessa. And the Butterfly series has become another learning series for me, which, what I mean by that is, Lilli taught me who I wanted to be through the process of writing the book, and Vanessa has taught me to be completely comfortable with who I am. So God has put those characters in my life to teach me lessons, which I think is a great thing, and it's a great learning experience. And in my opinion as a writer, there's one series or one connected series in a writer's life that changes the course of their life. And that's the way I feel about the Lilli series and the Butterfly series, which are connected. It's changed the course of my thinking. It's helped me be comfortable with who I am. They're not necessarily me, but they're teaching me lessons that so many people over the years have tried to tell me or teach me or talk to me about. But ultimately, the lesson here is only God can sometimes really get through to a person, and I think this was God's way of telling me that this is who you're meant to be. He was teaching me these lessons throughout writing these books of these series. And these episodes are not to give you spoilers necessarily, but to help other people see what I saw while I was writing these things. So I really hope that you all enjoy, and this has been the first episode of the Lilli Butterfly Project. Have a good afternoon.